Like, subscribe and get notified.
As the Bhutani project controversy escalates, questions about the legalities surrounding its permissions continue to grow. Activist Swapnesh Sherlekar and Congress Vice President Tulio have accused the government of turning a blind eye to the concerns of Goan residents, allowing builders to exploit regulatory flaws.
The issue here is now, if you put yourself in Bhutani shoes,
yes,
or any other developer, okay, they will say that look, we came to Goa, we asked for all necessary permissions. At this point of time, all the permissions have been accorded to us. We are proceeding based on the permissions that are being given to us. We are not here to look into the efficacy of the permissions or under what circumstances they were given and all that. Right now, as we get into this project, we have all the documents with us. So I'll ask you the same question, okay? My point is to the builder. I'll come to you, ma'am, on the same question. Ma'am, let's go one by one. My point here is, what is the answer that we will give to them? Because according to them, they are investors, they are project proponents, they are going ahead, and they are armed with all the respective licenses. So they say the government and the respective political parties may have this huge battle on who's the culprit and around whose neck the bell should hang. But the point remains to the builder that he is there armed with, he has put in money, he has bought the land and so on and so forth. What's your response to that?
See, in this particular case of 257/1, which that Bhutani project is coming up, there is a background to this project, and I'm sure the current owners of that project, owners of that property, have done some due diligence and found out why licenses in the past have lapsed. What was the background? Lawrence has given us a clear background, and I'm sure this amount of due diligence would have been done by them to know whether that project was halted, it was stopped because the local people have not. So I understand your point as a devil's advocate to take a view that, yeah, they've got all the permissions and why should you stop them? No, but that notwithstanding the flawed permissions, there is also issues that the locals who have stopped a project for certain reasons, and the reasons have been already well elucidated by Lawrence. Now, coming to the next part of it, when you apply for the permissions, you have to also understand that on a hill, there are certain restrictions. While it is not advisable to cut hills at all, and I say that, but the regulations say that up to 25% slope can be developed with a permission from the chief town planner under 17A with certain restrictions and whatever. Now they are short of that permission. So how can you say that they are got all the permissions? They are also short on the required road width of 10 meters when there is only a 5 or 6 meter road width.
I wanted to elicit these responses.
These are the notwithstanding all the background of that matter, that the locals have their protest based on some valid understanding. And why they are protesting, and why in the past this project was sought to be abandoned.
Swapnesh, same question to you.
Now there are a lot more permissions they will be requiring before actually going for the development of that land. That includes, how Tulio said, that includes hill cutting permission under section 17,
which has not been given yet.
Now the question is whether it can be given or not.
Right.
If the hill, the slope, the gradient of that hill is beyond 25%, then there is no scope.
So what you're saying is there's no scope for even considering that kind of a response, the application.
Now this is where government is also the policies of government is flawed, largely because see, the first basic check, if you are granting a permission on a hill and a potential forested area, then you have to first ascertain whether that particular parcel of land actually has any development permission potential or not.
Correct.
Before granting any sort of permission.
No, that's what so I just wanted to make a distinction.
No, government,
here, the government has committed various flaws over a period of time, and builders are taking advantage of it. Is that a fair thing to say?
And Bhutani themselves, just like you do a due diligence in terms of the title, you do a due diligence in terms of the survivability and the feasibility of this
here I'm essentially saying is that this is the government's negligence oversight or
feasibility kala asum shakta nahi.
See, whenever some investor is coming to a state, now it has become a state policy to act as a broker. to show that everything is green over here and
Right.
you can come and do whatever you want. The biggest reason what I am trying to project in here is the ODP of Vasco da Gama, ODP 2030.
Right.
In that ODP, this parcel of land is shown as developable, not just developable, C1 grade, C1 zone. Now anyone, even a common people from Goa, if he wants to procure a property, he will first see the title and the zone, whether it is developable or not.
Right.
So that applies to any investor who
Sure.
is coming to Goa.
Sure, sure.
When your ODP is not showing any contours on the actual planning document, which is the outlet development plan, then how do you blame a developer?
That's my point. That is my point. Correct.
How do you
Correct.
blame your development? That is
Exactly.
the very reason my square blame is on the government. They are acting as a broker here. They are inviting these people without actually
Yeah.
going into the
Yeah.
what you say, the prospects of the development potential of a project in Goa.
That's it.
Watch on Herald TV.